Hello, I'm Jan Müller and welcome to the Lopolight channel. Today I'd like to focus on sailing boats up to 12 meters of length, up to nearly 40 feet. Tell you how much of navigation light options we have from our side. And it's so many that it can be confusing and it can be overwhelming. And we'd like to put that straight. Lopolight was actually started with the view of this exact type of boat, this exact size of boat. That perhaps explains why we have so many of them. It's all about LED, it's all about robust, rugged, something you can trust when you go to sea at night. The color regs are defining what navigation lights should be, and the color regs are flexible when we come to this size of boat. I've tried to list them up here on the screen, and there is a number of options, and I'll take you through one by one, and then we can look at it in a perspective of what do you need for your vessel. The classic starting point is obviously a side light. So our side lights, they're very small, and they're vertically mounted, so they sit on a flange pointing forward. If you say, no, I would like it combined, then we have two options for the combined side lights. The combined side lights, where the green side and the red side is combined in one housing, is found here, and then you can have it in the version which is mounted on a plate that sits at athwartships on a vertical plate. There's two screws here, you dial them in. Or you can put them on a classical horizontal platform. It's basically the same light as you might can see, but now it's mounted on a horizontal plate. All lights that we deliver that are intended to be at deck level and to be potentially mounted in the push pit or the pull pit is by standard with 2.5 meters, that's 7 feet and ish of cable, so that the cable can run through your pull pit down into the dry area. If we go for stern lights, you once again have the option of a vertically mounted classic, very often seen on production sailboats, sitting on the push pit on the flange. It comes with two screws, 2.5 meters of cable, sits proud in the stern. Another stern light is the horizontally mounted. Here you can see it in a black finish, pretty beautiful. Same price as the silver. We want to have our steaming light on our sailing boats. I turned it on here. In this case it's a number larger, it's a 3 nautical light, but it has the same size. This version has a deck light, and the deck light is visible in the sense that it's a 2.5 watt LED light that is pretty intense and works well up to 20 feet above deck level, up to 6 meters above deck level. The original Lopolight, so to speak, the first one that Peter made back in 17 years ago, was a tricolor. And now they evolved with this lens system that you just saw on the stern light, with some nice little dimples on it, but a tricolor sitting on the top of the rig, doing its job. Very nice, very sturdy, very low power consumption. Nothing bad to say about that, but there's a bigger brother. There's actually the one where we have combined the anchor light with the stern, with the tricolor light, so that you are able to also anchor and use it in one function. And with this, there's also a strobe function. The strobe function is by popular demand included. It's not a legal function in the sense that strobing is only allowed for things that are fixed to the bottom of the sea and not sailing. But I have to admit, I would be using it passing a busy shipping lane at night in foggy weather, augmenting the tricolor, making sure I'm seen. That's a primary objective. But if you want to upgrade even further, then it's a cool one. This one, it's the same light, tricolor with anchor, but there's a Windex mount here, and there's an LED, and it doesn't look like much, but it illuminates the Windex in a magnificent way. Very popular light, especially to be recommended for those who have very little space on the mastheads. We were asked at one point, say, okay, what is the most economical way of getting a full Lopolight set on a sailing boat less than 40 feet? We said, we actually have a suggestion for you. And you can get away with 2 lights. So this one is a combined light. It has 3 leads, a common minus and a plus for the masthead sections and the sternlight section, and another plus for only the stern sector. So imagine you mount this, that's why I brought my little boat here, you mount this on top, and when you are sailing under sails, you only illuminate the function with the stern light. So the stern light is on. Then you have the combined side lights. You can mount it anywhere you want it, pointing forward obviously, but there's a lot to be said about mounting it here. It has to be 1 meter below that one, but if you mount it here, you don't have any glare on deck. You have maximum visibility for your lights. Imagine you have this setup, and now you say, oh, I'm lowering my sails, I want to engine, I want to sail on the engine. Then you flip the switch on this one, it suddenly becomes a 360-degree white light, the masthead sections and the sternlight sections working in combination, and you're steaming your way along, and eventually you find your anchor spot for the night, you anchor up, then you turn this off, and what you have on the top is now an anchor light. So you have these 3 modes of sailing with only 2 lights. So you can see that you have a lot of options. On my boat, to take an example, I do have deck mounted lights, a combined side lights and a stern light, and I have a tricolor. And for me it's a great way of having redundancy. So in essence, when I'm sailing, I have double lights. And for the racing sailors out there, we all know about this trick when you're doing a tack. Just in the tack you switch from the deck lights to the tricolor or the opposite, then the competition has less possibility of tracking you. But and it's perfectly legal. To round off, these lights are intended for you to mount, basically to fit and forget, because they are running on very long lifetimes, far longer than we expect as a recreational sailor, and they are built to sail the long distances and to keep you safe. They're supported by a 5-year warranty. They're built and manufactured and designed in Denmark, in our own factory here. If you want to go further, there's a contacts page on the website. Go ahead and find your local dealer. Thank you and happy sailing.